Sustainable development is actually the path to solve the big crises that we have. Even though there are many wars, for example, the devastating wars, at the core of many of those conflicts are crises of poverty, of dislocation, even of environmental crises like drought and food crises. So I think sustainable development really is our safest course to find a way out of the very complex and very challenging problems that we have all over the world, problems that are growing unless we get on a course of correction. One of the amazing truths of our time is just how productive and how wealthy the world is on average, but how still in the midst of this plenty there are people who are living in abject poverty, and also people who are not really part of the rising prosperity. So one of the core tenets of sustainable development is that not only should there be more economic development, but there should be social inclusion, that everybody should be carried along. This is possible if we work at it, because we see places in the world that achieve that, but many places don't try hard enough, or they actually actively exclude parts of the population. And then that's not sustainable development. That is mass inequality and a lot of unnecessary suffering. We've had 15 years now of the Millennium Development Goals to fight extreme poverty, and the outcomes are quite good. The poverty rate in the developing countries back in 1990 was estimated to be about 43%. Now, probably around 15%. So that means a lot of progress, also in a lot of remote regions. In sub-Saharan Africa, I see places that 5 years ago were essentially completely isolated, but now there's mobile connectivity. Broadband even is coming. It's starting to help with business, with education, with healthcare. So we have an increasingly completely interconnected world, and that gives the chance for places that really have been left out of development to be part of development during the next 15-year period, during the Sustainable Development Goal period. I think the information revolution is the most powerful single set of tools that we have, because when you think about what broadband and internet can mean, it's improvement for business, it's universal participation in finance, making payments or savings on a mobile phone. It empowers community health workers. It can bring thousands, hundreds of thousands of free books and curricula to classrooms that have no books right now, no physical books. It can connect classrooms around the world, so even when there's not a teacher, there can be an effective classroom and a teacher someplace else. It can connect somebody who needs an X-ray to be diagnosed with a radiologist 10,000 miles away, instantly making the diagnosis off of that X-ray image. The things that can be done are phenomenal. Doesn't mean they're going to happen automatically. We have to work at making them happen, but the tools that we have are better than ever. I think the key is that we're going to have common goals, Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. They'll be adopted in September 2015. In my view, the key mindset is take the goals seriously. So the Bonn conference or the UN agencies should always be asking the question, how can we achieve those goals? What's missing? What's not on track? What gaps can be closed? How can we accelerate progress? How can we help take good examples, best practices, and scale them up, or help countries that aren't yet using them to use them? My favorite project is the UN goals. They started in 2000 with the MDGs. Now with the SDGs, we're going to have a 30-year period in which this generation can end extreme poverty. So that's not a single project per se, but it is a single big idea. And it started with the start of the millennium. It will get picked up now. And I think that it can inspire a whole generation to say, let's finish that job. We can be the generation that ends extreme poverty on the planet. Something that was unimaginable until recently, but now is within reach. I'm really thrilled that the government of North Rhine-Westphalia and GIZ have come together to really pioneer a breakthrough conference. The idea is that with the new Sustainable Development Goals, with the whole world addressing this challenge of combining economic development, social inclusion, and environmental sustainability. This powerhouse state of Germany, and together with this powerhouse institution of federal Germany, GIZ, have said we need to work on implementing these goals. And so here is a conference that's going to become a regular feature of the world scene that will take on the challenge of success of the Sustainable Development Goals. I'm incredibly honored to be part of the launch of this conference, and I look forward to coming back to future conferences as well. I think that this is a very, very important initiative, and we know that when Germany takes on an initiative like this, it's going to make a big difference for the world.